guys, we just got back from the movies where we saw The Creator. Should you go out and see The Creator? This film trailer right up my alley. Love sci-fi, love, robots and AI, and Gareth Edwards is pretty good on the visual side. You got Weta VFX Studio, a little industrial light and magic here, and I will say it is visually impressive, very stunning. And all the pieces are here. Unfortunately, I felt like it was a little emotionally hollow. Now, let that sink in. Do you go for badass sci-fi stuff with some action and some great visuals, and that'll satisfy you for a weekend to take up some of your time? Or are you looking for a little deeper? You hoping for it to last a little longer, or have a message and things like that? And I saw like the potential of this film was a lot higher than what it reached. And so I am a little disappointed because I wanted to come out here and tell you, man, everybody go check this out. It's like District 9 mixed with
Terminator 2.
Yeah,
Kingdom
like
of
the
Men.
classic, special child and man trying to save and run from everybody kind of thing. And so it had that potential. Unfortunately, I think it needed more time in the drafting room because there was no emotional resonance, and by the third act, and then it gets wild and crazy, and it's just throwing stuff out there, and I'm like, the world building falls apart. It sucks. There's like no logic happening anymore in the movie. You set up everything so realistically, you do the backstory, the AI, all this stuff, but it just kind of gets out of control, and so ultimately I was disappointed. But being such a lover of sci-fi, it's difficult for me, to tell you not to go and see it. Just know that it is flawed, and it fires on some cylinders, not all cylinders. That's what I'm thinking. What did you guys think of The Creator?
I did enjoy this film. Like you, I wanted more from it. I don't believe, what is it, John David Washington? Yeah.
Yes.
Denzel Washington's son. I didn't believe some
Oh
of
my
his...
God, I didn't know that.
No? I didn't believe some of his emotions towards the child and stuff like that. It's like, okay, you love this woman, you're doing whatever you can, but his emotion towards that didn't really resonate with me.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they were doing. Oh yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah. But overall, I did love the world building they did. Like, they had great potential to set up a whole bunch of badass stuff. I didn't really care for that actress. Well, the one chasing him, I forgot what her name was. This
general lady. We'll just call her military lady.
Super generic, exactly. Generic tropes and stuff. She's like, "I'll kill everything."
One note character.
Yeah, with that. But overall, I still enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But I wish it would have been better.
Okay, you're on the same page. What do you think, Alex?
I like this movie way more than I thought I was going to because it looked very generic to me. It looked like stories that I've seen a lot of times, and like I read a lot of garbage sci-fi. It's really good sci-fi, and so like you see this kind of thing all the time. And I thought that they did a pretty good job in a lot of cases. This feels like a first or second draft, though. It needs some revisions. There's some wild shit in the editing department where there's this thing that's like teleporting all over the earth, and it's in like a nighttime scene, and like 1 second later it's in the broad daylight, it's in space, it's in our atmosphere,
low orbit, high orbit.
Yeah, it's
like, what's
crazy
going
on some of the stuff that's happening.
Are there no more like countries' airspaces?
Yeah,
like, get the fuck out of our airspace.
You also can't think about like the fact that there's this, because they in the advertisement they're like, if this weapon survives, we will lose this war. In no way at all do the AI have any sort of capabilities or intelligence or anything. They are physically weak. They can't hit targets. They could not win this war if you had given them nukes. It is ridiculous how they didn't show the power levels of certain things. A robot
can
gets
apparently be
chokehold. There's a guy gets a robot in a chokehold, and it's like.
His cords got tangled.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was.
So I do like this movie because I like sci-fi, and I'm very soft on this kind of sci-fi. Mm-hmm. So I do like it. And I do think that if you're looking for kind of an okay movie to see, But my God, it is just a giant pile of wasted potential, and it bothers me so much. And I'm always harder on things that I love.
Yes.
And this is the kind of thing that I love, and I just wish it was better.
I think we're all headed on the head. That's really all we need
We
to
don't
tell
talk
you
about
this.
So we leave the movie theater and we don't say anything to each other, like at all. So we never know.
Sometimes.
Some people are like, oh, you guys talk. It's like, no, we don't talk about the movie.
Yeah, we talk about other things, and then we get over here. Anyway, so I just think that, I mean, we said it all right there. Gareth Edwards, he's got some world building, and it sets it up nicely. I'm telling you, the visuals, stunning. The locations, amazing, excellent. You got to get to go to New Asia. Fantastic set-piece battles. Just like the budget seems much higher than it probably is because there's just constant space scenes and I love the sound. By the way, it reminded me of Terminator Purple Lasers. They're using orange lasers, but those sounds that come from the guns, that's Future War stuff. It's right up my alley, but it never has the emotional impact that it needs when this whole story centers around this 6-year-old girl. Little girl, and protecting her. And she's like the new evolution of AI. Humans versus AI. Humans are the bad guys. And just forget about all the stuff that there are legitimate concerns with AI and what they're capable of. And because honestly, if this girl gets pissed off, she could destroy all of humanity if she wants. So, but don't cover that. Don't worry about that. Okay.
There's a lot of stuff like that. We'll talk in spoilers because I was wanting to bring something up later. But what was the budget for Red Note or Red Note?
200 million.
200 plus million.
This is 80.
This 80 million, Joe?
Without marketing.
How the fuck does Gareth Edwards get so much out of his FX? God damn, those people are overpaid. The Rock, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds. This is bullshit because I was impressed.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, no way.
You got Hans Zimmer to do the music here. Like, everything in this movie looks great.
So, yeah, but when it comes right down to it, when this 6-year-old it cries, I actually feel like it's emotional manipulation for the audience. And I'm actually mad at the director and the crew for making this little girl cry. That's how much it doesn't work within the emotional resonance that I'm supposed to have for the scene.
With her, yes. But again, with Josh, no.
The one scene that got me was, and it made me wonder what kind of movie we're going to watch. And then early in the movie, an AI police officer throws a grenade. And this dog picks up the grenade
and brings it back.
And then I'm like, oh my God, are they going to kill this? Because we don't know. It's early in the movie. I don't know what kind of movie this is yet. And it was like, oh my God, are we establishing that the AI could be the bad guys? Like, what is happening? And the dog just drops the grenade back on there and laughs as the AI blow up. Pretty much, it's like a cartoon scene. I'm like, what the fucking what kind of movie is this?
Yeah,
you can't have that scene in a scene where I'm supposed to care about like him loving his wife and AI.
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't work.
I don't know. And then I'm not quite convinced that we should side with the AI so blindly. Like I said, if that child gets pissed off, everybody's fucking dead. So yeah, and then like in that third act, just world building, like the villains, they turn into mustache twirling villains, and they literally, they're so evil they'll just kill anybody. There's no sovereignty of states here. They're trying to make a commentary on American imperialism, right? But it's so over the top that it's like, how does that work? That doesn't make any sense. You're literally attacking the other guy, and there's only police. Is the other country going to do anything about this?
But we know the AI have fighter jets. They never use them when they're being attacked. They never have any capabilities whatsoever. And so,
there's no air defenses, even though you're flying in their airspace. I don't understand.
Yeah.
It was.
And then when they and then there's a moment, I guess right before the final climax, when your characters are at the lowest, it's like, okay, do what you need to do, bad guys, and then they make the dumbest decision ever, and it's like, excuse me, what? And then the movie just moves along. I'm like, no. We have to talk about how incompetent you are here. And it's just written that way, a specific way. The writing breaks down.
Especially because that scene has no impact on the story whatsoever. And you could have just gotten out of it and immediately just done something else. Yeah, it is wild what happens at the end. And again, I like this movie.
But it is more time in the drafting room. It needed more revisions. And I think why we're being tough on it is because we think it has that potential to be like this amazing franchise and this amazing one-off. Because Gareth says he's not doing a sequel. He likes stories to have a beginning, middle, and end, and I respect that.
This one just didn't have the end.
Exactly. This one could have resonated better if it's going to be a one-shot piece, like a District 9 or something, or Elysium or whatever. This needed more resonance, and it just doesn't have it. Maybe if you haven't seen a story like this, maybe it'll work more for you. But this story is a retread of, ideas and tropes that have been happening. That has happened. Lies of P.
It's like Logan. So it's like Logan. It's like Last of Us. There's so many things that it's like.
So, do you need more than just stunning visuals and sci-fi concepts and explosions, or are you satisfied with just that? Because if you are, then go out and see this. Because I love sci-fi. I want to support sci-fi, but this is one that I feel is flawed.
I would still say go out and watch it. I still had a good time watching it.
Yeah. Okay. No, and I agree. So it's like, what's the last movie you seen? I'm curious. You viewers, put it in the comments.
No, I saw
what's the last movie that you seen? I want to see that.
I liked it. I love Agatha Christie.
Oh, I
watch all of them.
What's his name? Perot.
Yeah.
I love that.
Actually, I saw Outlaw
I'm gonna go
Johnny
see it
Black.
this week. So, well, the point I was making is maybe I would have enjoyed that movie more, because I want to give you an option. I want you to go out and support the movies. Which one you want to see? Expendables 4, no, that's not even in our realm. It's awful. I've seen other people's reviews.
Megan Fox is not an action star. Why the fuck would you get Megan Fox?
Yeah. So if you need to go to the movies, like this is infinitely better than like Expendables 4. Okay.
I haven't seen it, but
isn't Saw out?
Yeah.
There's
a lot.
All right, so let's go ahead and go final verdicts.
Yeah, this one's tough.
Honestly, because I feel like it's a 7, but I did kind of enjoy it a little bit more. I want to give it that 8, but it just doesn't reach it. I'll go with I know we don't do this. A high 7. I'm gonna go with a 7.
7.5.
7.5.
No, there's no halves here. Be a man.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this is gonna be badass. But as soon as I started watching it afterward, the pacing on it was kind of like
higher.
Yeah, the pacing kind of like dragged a bit, brought it down, and a lot of tropes. And I like Josh, but sometimes you just don't get that emotional impact that it's supposed to feel like. The little girl did an amazing job as a kid, so I really liked her.
She's a great actress to cry like that. I was convinced.
Yeah, and like you said, the third act just doesn't make sense. I was like, wait, why don't they do this and this? So we'll talk about that in
many
spoilers.
things that knocked me. So many things that knocked me.
Yeah, kind of like took me out of the movie for a bit, but I wanted to give it that 8, but I'm going to go with a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether I think it's a 6 or 7. I do think it's an above-average film, just in the visuals alone. That's a really interesting world. I'm just upset the way that they develop it because they set everything up. They tell you how everything is. Well, they show you how everything is. And then as the movie goes on, it's like AI in this world is not a threat at all. There is no threat that we're going to lose the war under any circumstance. There is none of this like... It's like being AI. It's not ChatGPT. It's the worst AI possible, and it's awful because you have these things. Like I am not afraid.
I think you're talking about the worst robots possible, because the AI. I guess that they imply that all of the robots are AI. Well, the AI are in robot bodies.
Yeah,
and the robot bodies themselves are pathetic, but the potential of the AI to do something fucked up is there.
But so there's
consider the child.
There's these metal Terminators, and there's thousands of them all over the world, and they're robot bodies, metal arms, and you would expect them to have computer targeting, and they're just like, I can't hit shit, and like they get overpowered. He uses one as a human shield, a robot shield for a long period of time. It's like this thing is. He's got one arm, and this...
Yeah, I agree with you completely that the robots are weak as fuck. Yeah. But I think what humanity is scared of, or not humanity, the United States is scared of, is the robots fucking with nuclear weapons or setting off some kind of virus or whatever.
Sure, I completely get it. I mean, that's what they said in the trailer. I'm just saying they showed none of it, and because they showed none of it, it's hard to feel. There is no one side. There is no. It's like, oh, the humans are 100%, or
they're just assholes.
U.S. are 100% the bad guys. Yeah,
I feel bad for the robots the entire movie.
Yeah, so I think it's a low 7, but I'm gonna give it a 7, and it's hugely biased because I love sci-fi so much, but he really dropped the ball in some of the world building and definitely in the third act.
I'm going to give it a 6. Slightly above average. I'm harder on it than y'all. I just think that because I went in with high expectations, because this should have been better, and it just has no emotional resonance. Basically, all the characters are one note. You say you didn't like Josh. I didn't like all the characters, basically. Even the 6-year-old little girl, I didn't really feel all that emotion for until she started with the waterworks, right? And even then, I was like, oh, you just forced that little girl to cry because I'm so knocked out of the film. When you knock me out with so many logic problems, then I almost become resentful because you're showing me candy on the screen. This is like amazing visuals. This is Rogue One, just his own stuff. And it's good, and I love your gun sounds and the creative. Like some robots make no sense, and some like this tentacle bot kind of thing is, I don't know what's happening here, but it's all visually stunning. But that just makes that gut punch worse when it doesn't resonate with me. It might resonate with you. Maybe go out and see it and see what you think. I do think it's above average, but it loses a lot of the points because it doesn't have the meat. It's got the candy, but it ain't got the meat. All right, well, so that's it for this one. Let's go into the spoiler section. Hey, welcome to the spoiler section. So essentially, what is this little girl, Joe?
She is the almighty powerful. She's created from a little embryo, and she controls everything. She's grown to power. Well, I guess right now, whatever's in the radius, but she has the power to take out Nomad.
She's the universal remonster.
She's like an EMP. She can turn it on and off, and then eventually, as she grows, maybe she'll be able to remotely control any technology from far away. Then they never address why she wouldn't hurt humanity. So honestly, the United States is correct, because if she has a tantrum, she's gonna kill somebody, and that has to be, I don't know, at least thought about.
They don't address how she grows, because she starts out as a tiny, and then she's actually growing, and she's like none of that. We just kind of go over.
So we start with a relationship, Josh, and he's got this wife, and special forces show up, Navy SEALs, advanced Navy SEALs, and it turns out he is an agent. He faked getting in with her to find the creator of AI to kill that person and get rid of all AI, because humanity is like, no more AI, we're going to destroy them. And until the threat is over, we will continue to hunt AI. Because why? Well, in Los Angeles, a nuclear bomb went off, and they think the AI did it. And it was a small bomb because they just built some walls around it, and they're still in L.A. They're just,
LA's
nuclear
huge.
fallout is not that bad. Or they found some way to clean the nuclear fallout. So to be honest, it wasn't all that bad. But we're going to hunt down every single robot or AI. And so they do it without other countries' permissions. They never mention China, Russia, like powerful countries. It's like, if we want to continue doing this, then shut the fuck up, United States. But they do mention New Asia, and they're like, those over in New Asia, they don't respect this because they're continuing to develop AI, and they work with them in cooperation, and they're so kumbaya over there. Well, fuck them. We want to destroy all their goddamn shit. We don't have a problem with the people.
No incidents over there.
I know incidents, but we're going to fuck their shit up.
No, fuck you. It didn't work for us, but...
So it didn't make any sense, because then if you look at the amazing architecture, it feels at times Blade Runner-esque. There's like, this city is built up. That takes a lot of resources. It takes a lot of technology. And you're telling me that New Asia has no technology, no military force? No, like all they have are police. and their police are filled with robots, so their police are probably better than our police.
But they make them out to look like a joke.
But they exactly, they're a joke, and so in order to soften this, I guess, in order to make this work, they have to pretend that there's no military, they have no air defenses, they have nothing, and at any time, America, who built this goddamn space station called Nomad, can float it anywhere on Earth. And just start painting the ground with it's cool ass visual. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I love it. Mass Effect, it's just so cool. But it could just paint the Earth and then drop nukes or drop fucking bombs, fucking daisy cutters times 100, and and nobody cares.
But they set it up as people care because they do this infiltration mission. They're like, no one can know we're here. The nearest base is 400 miles away. We got to infiltrate this base. And then they just carpet bomb the entire fucking world the rest of the movie. You're like, I thought we had to sneak in because
the logic makes
it just
sense.
Flies out the window. And
it flies. And it flies out the window and you're like, all right, that's cool. And then we're in a new building because you flew out the window into another window. And now we're flying out the window again. Yeah. And then we're flying out 3 windows. And then we fly. It's like, no, man. Because if it's the most important mission and we're going to find the creator, you don't send in one Navy SEAL team, okay? Because later on, then they send in fucking waves of tanks. How did you get these tanks on their fucking property?
They were already there.
They were already
just
there
in
waiting.
case. Yes.
I guess Nomad dropped them and shit, and New Age is like, yeah, go ahead and fuck us up. We got nothing to say about it. Anyways, and it's, it's just wild to me. And
well, we got a really cool scene where there was this robot rebel guy that's trying to get this sticky bomb to work, and he throws a sticky bomb on the tank, and he's running away, and then he explodes. But good thing there was a monkey there, because the monkey grabs the detonator.
It's things like this that Alex is talking about.
It just punches, because it's a cool scene. And you're like, oh my god, tension's happening.
I like those 2 scenes. I'm not gonna lie.
But he picks up the detonator and he goes, "This movie's now a cartoon," because the monkey goes and looks at the tank and he just goes, "Ha ha ha!" And he curls his mustache and runs into
nature. Because you're the bad guy, and even nature hates your ass.
It's just silly.
It's what it's supposed to say. Same thing with the doggies. The doggies you throw, but wait a minute, those are the good guys trying to attack the bad Americans. So weird scenes like that. And I'm like, and it just makes me so mad. I'm like, that's not going to do anything to the tank. That's cool. It shows the monkey does it, and the tank is going to be fine. It fucking blows the tank up. I'm like, then what's the purpose of having goddamn Land Raiders if they're as weak or weaker than Abrams tanks?
These things are not Abrams size. These are like 10 Abrams tall and wide, and they've got like all their missiles are coming out. Like, this is something from the fucking Warhammer universe, killing people.
I'm like,
and a monkey blew it up.
The candy is so good here. It's delicious.
It's like you just love seeing that. It's like, that's cool, but this doesn't make sense.
Is this a serious movie? Or is it, what is this?
You almost have to see it, just to experience it and see if you have the same problems. And then
they made suicide bombers that feel pain.
Yeah.
They made suicide robots.
There was, I don't know, they keep putting stupid things in for the audience. Like the robot hesitates for half a second and acts like it's not receiving the orders, and then it's okay, fine, I don't receive the orders, and it goes out to go kill itself. So you can feel sorry for it, and eventually, I thought that the little kid sees the base under attack, and she says, I have to do something. And what does she do? I thought maybe she'll turn off some tanks, she'll bring down some ships. No, one of the suicide bombers robots is walking. She stops it. And she just, touches it on the head, and that's it. Well, she does get shot. Maybe she was going to do more.
Shooting her damages her? This will be important later on. Yeah. Shooting her damages her?
Apparently damages her. She falls to the ground. Just then, Joshua, who separated from her, comes up at that exact moment. And then there's the other character that was on his squad in the Special Forces comes up at that exact moment. And there's, all this convenient stuff. And then the robot, instead, I thought she would send the robot back. Mm-hmm. That'd be fine. But no, it just stands on the bridge and it blows up. And I couldn't help to think myself, it's like, that is the least effective weapon that you have. You could have just pressed another button inside that huge Land Raider for a missile to do the same thing. And that missile has a bigger area of effective explosion because Joshua's running with the little robot girl who just got shot. And he's like literally like, I don't know, maybe 5 feet from it when it explodes, and he's fine. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's got the power of a single grenade. It's
but we have to save it because we need to study it because, you know, in our hands, the AI could be good.
So stuff like that.
Another thing that kind of bothered me too, which was pretty fucking huge, was this all started because they said the AI blew up Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, it was human error.
Turns out it was a human coding error.
That's all they said. I was like, what? This is fucking huge.
Yeah, and it's like passed over. It could be propaganda from the new Asians, and they say, well, this is what really happened. And America's like, no, that's propaganda. It was AI. We will never know the truth. No. You know, it's just, but, you know, it's just put there.
I would have expected to see.
But you could definitely tell the movie's like, it was human error.
It was human error, yeah. I mean,
I think that would have been a little bit better, more effective in
Well, what are they going to do with it, Joe? That was their point, that it's like America doesn't care that it was their error.
Yeah, there needed to be a bunch of things. Like there needed to be terrorist attacks by AI in the United States constantly happening in order for this entire movie to work. But I mean, maybe they just cut this movie down because I think this movie was supposed to be rated R, and then they cut it to PG-13. This movie definitely felt like it was probably pared down. So, I don't know.
Because that's what I was thinking too. Because like that would have been a more impactful for me. It's like, okay, well, these AI, what have they done? It's like, oh, maybe they did this, maybe not. But other than that, like, they've been living. A new Asian's been living with them. Nothing's been going on
for 15 years.
Yeah.
I think that was meant to be good guy, bad guy instead of morally gray. Right? Yeah. You wanted it to be more morally gray in order to excuse the actions of the Americans because, there are other countries in the world. It's not just United States and New Asia. If there were constant terrorist attacks and multiple bombs went off, then everybody in the world might be like, America's really pissed off. He's going to go blow up something. Just let him. Let him. You know what I mean? Because they got fucked up. But a single nuclear bomb in L.A., and it's like, they don't care about L.A. here. And I'm like, yeah. That's right.
Maybe they bombed close enough to San Bernardino and no one could tell that because it looks like it got nuked already.
Yeah, but a lot of people could explain that away that wasn't the robots, you know. But and so the whole world. There's a tiny news report that when shit gets crazy in the third act, because shit gets so fucking crazy, we go out of it's like they're writing it as I'm watching it. I'm like, I'm very impressed that you got all these things set up because you're like literally writing it. That's how it feels like. They launch all the fucking missiles at once. They get rid of half of the payload. Half of the payload's already flying out. And I'm like, okay, all these places are fucked. And some of the places are like city centers that are about to get hit. So, of course, and there's a tiny news report that says the world is kind of mad at Nomad, I guess. You know, it's
but all they have to do is like, oh, it was the child and Josh. It was them.
Right.
They infiltrated, so it's the AI. We need to go after them. I was like, okay.
They released all the bombs.
Yeah. Did you not see him? He's hanging on right there on the nuke. So it's him.
That's so stupid, too. How does he end up in all of these fucking places that it's like if she doesn't stop the bombs, then he would get launched.
You better stop. It's like, why are you on there?
So
it's like it was written by a child.
We're skipping ahead. We're skipping ahead. We skipped over the dumbest thing in this whole movie. So when they are still in Thailand, they get captured. Joshua saves her from the bridge. She is hurt really bad. She's been shot. And then like he goes off to Tibet or somewhere else in Nepal, like in the middle of the Himalayas or somewhere, and they finally get captured.
There's so there's two climaxes. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the first climax and the aftermath of the first climax.
Yeah, so they go to Tibet. And that's where his wife is. And his wife isn't actually alive like he's thought this entire time. She's been she's alive. She's been in a coma for 5 years. And she's the mother of AI. And this little girl is magically healed. Because we thought that she may die because she got shot with a bullet.
Right, but what happened to that plot line? It's like now we have... I'll never take you to the creator, who's your wife. Now I'll take you to the creator because the little girl got shot?
Because he saw what he did on the bridge.
He killed a human being, and so he's like, oh, you're on ours.
But I thought the child was like, oh, we need to take her to the creator. The creator will heal her or something. That's what I thought it was, but that's not what it was.
No, nothing happened. And then the good guys show up because, you know, they have this ability to take out robot brains and or human brains and put it into robot brains and scan them. Get info. And so they capture. The little girl is captured by the U.S. military. Joshua is captured by the U.S. military. And then they study her for a period of time.
This made me so angry.
And then
it's like, what was the excuse for not killing her right there?
Yeah, and so they study her, they get everything they need from her, and then the general goes, "She won't let us kill her."
That's what I heard. I was like, I could not believe it. She won't let us turn her off, or some. Even the scriptwriter was like, I don't know what to put.
Yeah, she can die from bullets and probably fire. And
this general was like, you got to do it humanely. I'm like, what are you talking about? You literally just
millions of fucking people.
Hundreds of thousands of people with bomb nukes.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, that's a really cute 6-year-old girl. That's an adorable girl. I'm not gonna kill her.
She did get you when she was crying, though. So
no, she got you, Joe.
Not you.
No, it made me mad that they made her cry.
See? Nobody made you
cry. The director made her cry. Anyway,
so they bring Joshua in, and they're like, shoot her in the face with this EMP gun, and it'll put her out humanely. And it's like,
you do it. I'm not gonna do it.
And then so he goes,
what? Why do we need Joshua to do it? There's no reason. What do you mean?
And so they have
been cold-hearted.
They have an EKG on her to like measure her, her robot ness, and then he whispers in her ear that only she can hear because the EMP is screwing up the recording. And he goes, "Hey, go into sleep mode. Don't turn yourself off." And then she goes, "Okay."
But then he shoots her.
But yeah, but she's
off.
off.
You see the effect.
But she's off, and so it.
So if you're off and you get shot, it doesn't do anything?
Yeah, apparently.
And then she can turn herself back on?
I wrote this as I'm filming it, bro.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
She's stunned.
And so she is in sleep mode. She's in standby, but her light is not blinking like it's supposed to. And then they're like, "Oh, she's 100% dead. Don't have to worry about confirming or anything."
All of our meters on her head said she's dead.
Yeah, and then so like we have to take her to a different location
Yes.
and put her in a furnace somewhere really far away. And
you two guys go together.
Yeah, you two can go together. Well, no,
you're free.
he has to ask.
He does ask Joe.
Like,
I
He
know.
says, "Please, I need this is like a funeral for
But
me."
it's
He's like, "This isn't a funeral," and he's like, "But it is for me."
But the general's a fucking cold-hearted bastard. He's like, "Okay,
All right,
I
yeah.
got a soft spot for you.
They
Go
keep
ahead."
thinking that I don't know. They keep glorifying the soldiers. Like, yeah, you can do whatever you want because you're a sergeant. I'm like, that's not how it works.
No, it'd be like, here's a location.
Right.
You could see it from a distance.
Yeah.
And when they're attacking other fucking villages and he's around, they like instantly just know that this is an American and will treat. No, will really happen, and you're done.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, we are out here. We are murdering people.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, most of them were
that you
non-combatants.
used to work for us.
They were executing prisoners of war. Like, they really hammer home because there's all these people like monks, Buddhist robot monks being executed.
Yeah, they just
like
they're like, hey, they come out and they're like, to greet them and like they're on
get
the
on your
beaches
knees.
of Normandy.
Yeah, get on your knees. I'm gonna execute you. He's like, oh my god. And so they get in an ambulance because they're moving this robot corpse, and then
But they don't kill 6-year-old robot girls.
No, they refuse because and so they're gonna put her in the incinerator across town so she can escape. She opens up. She makes the ambulance flip, and then they crawl out of the ambulance. And we're in.
Oh, this is even. I forgot about that.
We're in the city of Los Angeles. There are no cameras. There are no police. There are no drones. There are no anything. And he walks from the bridge. He goes through a manhole, and he walks
LAX,
to
baby.
LAX. And he makes it through airport security, and like she does the thing where she, it goes and
Sure.
he gets on a spaceport.
I can believe that fine.
And then they take off, and they're like, "Oh my God, they're flying a space jet to our most important $1 trillion thing. That if it blows up, we will lose the war," which is what they've said in the trailer.
$1 trillion.
In the trailer and in this movie, if that thing goes away, we lose this war. And they don't shoot the plane down.
No.
There's no security.
In fact, they watch it dock. In fact, they probably helped it dock.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking
like
too. I was
space
like,
docking.
they would have shut that thing down.
Yeah.
But Joe, there are other Americans on board, and they would never do that to other Americans.
No good.
Oh yeah. And then so
Maybe they were all ex-soldiers. They were all ex-special forces, so they were like, "Oh, hey, Bill. Hey, Susan, come on board our top secret military installation."
Well, so also in the top military,
costs.
there's a departures window, like it is fucking LAX for some reason. There's a scene where it's like departures to Earth. I'm like, why would this be at this military base?
No,
it does. I
no.
promise it said. I promise you it's there.
Okay,
Because I saw it and I was like, holy shit, that's dumb.
So much ridiculous things.
The little girl goes to the command center while Joshua
Oh,
is...
she runs through the entire facility on her own,
It's
and
not
nobody...
It's not a military base, Joe.
Exactly!
Shut up.
It's not a military
I didn't write it
base.
as a military base. It's a series of hallways.
I changed what it was.
It's
Now
shit,
they're
shit.
scientists.
Yeah.
Only.
No, there was only 7 dudes in there.
That
and they're
don't
all,
care about a little girl robot running around.
this is the most important thing.
Which everybody hates on this installation.
And so she gets to the command center, while Joshua, for some dumbass reason, has a sticky bomb, and he's crawling on the outside of a space station, hurling through space.
Yeah,
with his arms. And so, and then
the robot arms.
yeah, one is a robot arm, and he has a mine. And I don't know if you know this, but the command center that she is on controls the bombs. She could have just set them to blow up while she was there. He didn't have to crawl on the outside of the stupid thing. And then she turns the thing off, and then they're like, we lost contact, and she doesn't turn off the communications. She doesn't turn off anything. She just turns it off for a second.
Why does she let it turn back on?
That's a reboot, you know. It takes time. They're like, oh, we can't control it.
Yeah.
But the only thing we can't control is the tentacle arms.
Tentacles.
Yeah, there's no robot, and then and then Matrix robots show
They
up.
said it to kill.
I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. Why are you writing it like this?
But she finds Gemma Chan's robot clone on the ship for no reason. And this little girl who is 6 drags, because we've established that these robots are not strong at all under any circumstance. They're not
just
strong.
like, I want a happy ending somehow.
And then she's dragging this corpse through the cornfields that are inexplicably on top of this military space station.
Is there a reason why they had those robots?
Probably for oxygen scrubbing, or green is nice.
But they said
it said AI research, Joe.
But they said we hate
you have
AI.
to know your enemy to destroy your enemy.
We hate AI. We never want to work with them.
Know your
Just
enemy.
those.
When it was all dark, I thought they were gonna like be ripping it apart and doing gross things to it, right?
Yeah.
To fucked up
All you had
torture.
to do is put a memory card in the back, a literal memory card in their back, and then.
And it's his wife
And
again.
then, but she doesn't wake up right away. But in the end, when the thing's on fire and he's walking away, he said over and over, "I would do anything to hold her one last time." Except for
and
this
he
is
gets that moment.
This is robot her. In the last conversation that they had, one, she got blown up. She had lost her infant, and she hates him. So there's not a,
yeah. No, she instantly loves
She
him.
woke up and she's on a spaceship that's exploding. She's not going,
Well, Alex,
about
that's
to
because
die.
when she was laying in the Buddhist temple monk, she heard everything that he said, and he was really, really sorry.
Oh, I thought she was brain dead.
And also, she heard the old white general lady who was really mad, and she blew up the. Or what did she do?
I
She
like
got
what she blew
shot.
up.
Yeah.
No, they shot her with an
Yeah.
RPG,
And
and
it
then the
was, like,
girl turned
beeping.
it off.
Yeah.
And then the soldiers were like, "Oh, how dare
Shoot
you
the
turn off
girl!"
the thing?" And then
And
they
there
blew
was and then her attack dog was there as well. No, he died already. Yeah, he already died.
Yeah, you got shot in the face.
And there was Ken Watanabe was there and shot her and blew her up. He died.
Chow Yun Fat?
No, Ken Watanabe. And then, but he isn't dead because he's all over the place.
Oh yeah. Well.
Because there people donate their faces everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then, so he got what he wanted. He wanted to hold her one last time, even though it's a robot version of her, and she hates him.
Yeah, and so I didn't buy their relationship. Like I had no feelings for their relationship. Had no feelings with the relationship between him and the little girl.
But they cuddled.
Had nothing.
Yeah, we have seen the
problem.
closed off, emotionally unavailable grown man with the young girl, we've seen it in Logan, we've seen it in The Last of Us, and they've done it really, really well. They did nothing to really make me feel like their relationship was solid anyway.
I kept wondering, why is she following him? And it's because secretly she is his daughter. They have this connection. What? How is that possible? Well, the creator that they've been chasing to kill the whole time wasn't her father, it was her. And she used, I don't know,
Sonogram.
DNA from her own real life child and put it into the robot child. And then she died and her unborn child died. And so technically this robot child is a copy of his actual child. Isn't that profound? And
It could have been.
it just didn't work. And he loves her so much that he put. So you had the tentacle robot we last left off on, and it says kill them. And so they're going to use the tentacle robot. So what does the tentacle robot do? Like, you know, has no lasers, has no sharp weapons on
Just
it, no
grabs
nothing.
them.
It has little fucking
Pincers.
claws, you know, like when you pick up the candies and the toys, I guess. And so he picks up the little girl and he does nothing with her. And then he lays her back down. And then the guy runs up and then he picks up the guy and he does nothing with him. Like, what are we doing here? I guess it was going to grab all of his limbs and then pull them apart, but it doesn't really do that.
It was just meant for a minor distraction.
Yeah, and then so then the little girl does the praying thing, and then the robot falls apart. But it's too late because he can't open the door. I kept thinking that his wife would show up and she's really super strong because she's in a robot body and she would help.
Robots are strong.
And they would go in a happy family or whatever.
No, I kind of saw this coming
to,
afterwards. It's like he's going to save the child and then get his last moment.
One last moment.
Because he kept saying it the entire time. It's like,
I just would give anything for
just
1
second.
minute.
Just one. I was like, okay, I know that's all right. Got it.
So then he presses the button and the little child is released in a escape pod while the installation blows up from his one mine. I guess he put it in the right spot.
He put it on top of one of the missiles.
Okay, then I would have blown it up. Yeah. So then we got and then the whole thing comes down while him and his wife are riding it. Maybe there's an after credit scene. They got into another pod and they ejected. There's no after credit scenes.
They
exploded.
Yeah.
They did.
And they did the Independence Day thing where all the chunks of the spaceship are falling all over the fucking world.
Which, by the way, that would cause a lot of problems.
There are people running towards this thing, falling to Earth, and they're running towards it. It's like,
the
thing's filled with explosives. Run the other way. The thing is filled with nukes.
The dust that would be kicked up could be enough to fucking kill you. The shock waves enough to crush your lungs.
They're going
Everybody's
so close.
running over it. And just an asteroid hitting the Earth would fucking suck. This thing falls from fucking orbit and slams in. It should slam in with a lot more power of a megaton bomb, but apparently it lightly sets down.
Yeah, its boosters were going.
Boosters were going
the whole time. That's what happened.
So then, and then the kid comes out of the little, you know, and this is a military installation that everybody hates, and they're in a fervor because it's, and then the little pod. I swear to God, I would have seen the robot just pop, 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 just knock that fucking pod down, because obviously it comes from there. But anyway, the little kid comes out of the pod, and she's like crying at first, but then she starts laughing because her parents died. They had their last moment, and she knew that they had their last moment, I guess.
She's the chosen one.
Or she's just happy that she won, because she's been watching the cartoons from New Asia, which show the damn Americans, and they have the lasers. It's like G.I. Joe, because they got purple lasers and stuff. And so she did it.
Yep. That's it.
Okay, the creator, where it sounds really cool, should be a lot better.
But again, though, I will give them credit for that kind of budget as opposed to other ones.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good.
So I think I liked it better than maybe after talking about it, I probably would go up to a 7. I don't fucking know. I liked it better than Elysium.
With Matt. Was it
Matt Damon? Yeah. I think I liked it better than Elysium.
Yeah.
I don't know. So. District 9, I'd have to rewatch District 9.
This is, I mean, it's got a pretty good premise and it borrows from a lot, but man, it really fell apart.
Yeah. It's just so many logic problems.
6 or 7, yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Tell us what you thought of the movie if you've seen it, and we'll see you guys on the next AngryJoe Show. Bye, guys.